I know, Eric, you've been with Bitcoin since like the early days, back before the Bitcoin dark ages, I'll call it, back before like the monetary maximalists, like laser-eyed maxis really gained control. I think this is where our very first episode with you kind of talked about that change in Bitcoin culture. But now we're seeing it kind of shift back to, I think, a more familiar territory. And despite some of the challenges that I think you've illustrated here on the episode today, the fact that there are challenges in Bitcoin that people are working to overcome is like extremely refreshing and very optimistic. So overall, just like, how would you rate the health of the Bitcoin ecosystem and your perception of its direction?
Yeah, as much as these Bitcoin L2s have problems, I am so thrilled that we have Bitcoin L2s with problems rather than just having Lightning that everyone says is amazing and is going to solve everything. If I had to choose between either of those two things, I would much prefer the reality where there's tons of teams, smart people that are aggressively trying to bring better layer twos into existence. So, I mean, what we ultimately need for Bitcoin is we don't. I'm not that convinced that we need to take everything that Ethereum has done and put it onto Bitcoin. Like, why? You can go and do that on Ethereum if you really need to do like decentralized lending and decentralized trading and all that. Just go do that on Ethereum. Get a reasonably secure pegged in version of Bitcoin and do those activities on like that. We don't need all of the Ethereum stuff to exist on Bitcoin. I don't think so. But what I do know that we do need. We just need a way for me to be able to send Bitcoin to you in a scalable and private fashion, just so that Bitcoin as a currency works. And everyone has believed that would be Lightning, that Lightning would solve those problems. And same way that I was bullish on BitVM initially, I was bullish on Lightning initially too. But Lightning developers are also coming to the conclusion that these channels that we're trying to scale Bitcoin through have constraints with inbound liquidity, the user experience. As much as we're trying to patch it up, some problem appears somewhere else in the system. It's like a balloon that you're trying to squeeze out the water of, and it just pops up somewhere else. That's sort of how it works when you're struggling with the Lightning design space. I think that Lightning developers are at the stage now where they would happily say, we want our next upgrade of Lightning to not use channels at all. So if that gave them like a convenient out of not saying, okay, Lightning Network didn't work, like we have a new version of Lightning that doesn't use channels. It uses state root updates and either ZK proofs to make sure that those state root updates are correct, or some type of optimistic challenge response. So basically roll-ups, but let's call it Lightning. So beautiful. But yeah, I think the Bitcoin ecosystem has woken up to the idea that Lightning is not going to work. So that's why everyone is trying, so a lot of the hardcore Bitcoiners, there was a white paper that came out for something that was called ARK. And I don't know, you guys maybe didn't pay attention to this, but there was a massive interest in ARK. And if the reality of the situation was that everyone in Bitcoin was happy with Lightning, why would everyone throw themselves to this new protocol called ARK, which claimed to have solved some of the inbound liquidity issues of Lightning, or some of the other issues of interactiveness of Lightning? Obviously, there is this big pent up like realization now that maybe getting Lightning to work in a decentralized way is not where we're going to end up. We're seeing like you just have to look at the data, like custodial wallets rule the day. 90% of Lightning users use custodial wallets because it's just so much more convenient. And that is such a sad outcome. So we know that Bitcoiners, as much as they don't want to admit that sometimes that Lightning has been a failure, we see themselves throwing in themselves at things like ARK, like anything that is different or that is better. So the overtone window has changed to we need better second layer solutions on Bitcoin, and I think that with enough people with grit and will and desire, we're going to get there.
If you enjoyed all of that, then you'll absolutely love the Bankless newsletter. Join over 300,000 fellow readers, all for free. Click below to sign up.